Welcome guys to another sketchbook tour. And as you may know, lately I've been getting some small sketchbooks so they're easier to fill out. And this sketchbook was given to me by my friend, and he also drew the cover for it, which has been going through a lot lately. The 14th sketchbook. This is the Kaiser Family, a good song from Kaiser's Orchestra. Listen to Diamante Kol again, and just thought that fit my OC Achilles. So I drew Achilles here, and up here, but we don't talk about that. And then here's a sketch for like something I did for my school business type stuff. And there's just Dominic, quick sketches of Dominic. Okay, here we have Juniper, and he is not being able to sleep. He's being a bit traumatized instead. There's Curly, there's a color script for an animatic I want to make. I don't know who that is. I do know who those people are. This is guys, listen, anatomy, why is that important? Anyway, so Juniper and John. Okay, we're having thoughts here of how bad John's been to Juniper. We don't know yet. Juniper having a good time, potentially revamping my channel. How would my banner look? How would my profile picture look? What could be my new name? I've been thinking about Lemon Vendetta, but I don't know yet. Here we have quick sketches of every abusive family in Juniper's Reekers. Physical abuse, mostly. Like, with physical abuse, you get psychological abuse anyway, on the go, I feel like. But, so, Haliana, Hugo, and Evan's family. Trix and Trix's little bro's family. Rich people. Don't know, potentially rich people. John's family and John. He didn't stay long with his parents, but, and they weren't really physically abusive to him. They just neglected him because they were so obsessed with each other. Kind of like Wednesday Addams. The Addams family, basically. And then, yeah, Cedric's parents and Cedric. Me! Being derpy. Thinking about this vendetta stuff. Don't know. Here we have character lineup of the main characters. Like, lineup thumbnails. Main characters of Juniper's Reekers. Main characters of Magpies. Are the ones that I have so far. Glace's story. And then Juniper's group. Plus Trix and Alio, which are more connected to Haliana. Basically kind of like a scrap page. I've been trying that lately. Here's acrylic markers, me popping off with color. I like that eye, bro. I want more of that in my life. And then this is just like watercolor sketches. I tried to draw Asuka from Evangelion. I've been watching like analyses of that. I haven't really watched the series yet. Yep, I'm that bitch. Go judge me in the comments. Anyway, and then I tried to draw Glace in kind of that style, but then nah, so I just drew Glace normally and tried to do some color bullshit that didn't work. And then of course glasses, because we want them cool glasses in our lives. Girly with glasses, me wondering if it's Senora Torpedo. This is me trying to realistically draw Newt from Maze Runner, and failing, as you can see here. So yeah, and also check from the song of Baby No Money. Quick sketches of Aubrey, Juniper, more Juniper, and Glace. Wow. Glace has blue skin now. Canon. Me trying to tackle like Lauren and Glace's design in like a short animatic film thingy that I want to make. Post-it notes, I don't know who that is. That's Lauren and Glace being flirty. They're being flirty. More Asuka attempts, I think. I don't know who that is. That's Juniper. I drew this with like just drawing the lines and not drawing like construction lines first, which is pretty nice for my standard. Me experimenting with orange Juniper, I guess. That's me! Wow! And then here we have a Pinterest study with a color as the main focus, for me at least. Like, selecting the right acrylic marker colors, because like I have a set of like 160 of them or something, or 120, and that gets kind of overwhelming. Like, what colors am I going to use? So I tried to like eye the colors from what I had, and I kind of like it. I was proud of this when I first made it, and I'm kind of proud of it still, you know? Clouds. Me. But I tried to draw myself with more feminine looks. But hell no. Glaze and Lauren, also a Pinterest study with watercolor instead. Just that I inserted my characters instead of the people on the picture. Another color study. Kind of failed this one a bit more, at least from the source material. Also missing like fine liners acrylic markers and not just like thick ones. Pinterest study. I kind of like that color combination. I've been trying more with like highlighters lately because that's a thing now on the internet. Here's more highlight stuff. I tried to do like a post from Melon Soup and their girlfriends. Look at them. This is Glaze and Lauren. They're girlfriends. They're judging you. And then there's Juniper and Yaris. And they're not the best of friends all the time. Okay. I tried to do a lighting study here. It went horribly. It looks like her sweater is black, but no, it's supposed to be a shadow, like you can see here. The essence, though, is kind of nice, like Glaze with her guitar bag, looking like it could have been better. It could have been so good, but it's not. Okay, here's more 11 Vendetta, me trying to warm up to that name, like, okay, should I take that for real? And then there's Juniper being all scuffed. And then I tried to draw Cyrilage, and I wanted to color it, but I never did. And then there's me thinking about making a t-shirt for somebody I know. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's there, you know. Another Pinterest color study. Really like this one. I like the colors on it. It pops like fuck. It's like you turn this page and you're just like, oh, eye candy, okay. It's also not too scuffed. It's a bit scuffed, but not too much. It was a study of Gretelski. Basically this YouTube channel. She has a cool style, so. Glaze in the woods, just because. Yep. Me trying to do colors on my own with just 2 colors, seeing how that would work. Didn't work, okay? Didn't work. Umbreon Eye. Freedom Riders is a good movie that I saw, and I just made that to kind of process that. It's a good fucking movie, go watch it. Umbreon and me are like the Pokemon persona me, thingy-tangy. And then the moon. This is Miss Airy. She was made in like 2021. Is an old OC of mine, and she's like one of the prophets of the gods in my world. And she's the prophet of the psychological god, which is like almighty being that's everyone's minds and everyone's thoughts and everyone's like living or dead. Everyone's thoughts always go through her being, basically. And that's one part of her that wanted to see how much she could make someone scream, if she could make someone scream louder than everybody else. So yeah, that prophet, we don't like her, okay? Satan. Juniper, Glaze. Don't know what happened to Glaze here. She seems sick, but it's fine. Quote from a song. Juniper, scuffed page. We don't like this page. Okay, everybody, get your middle fingers up for this page. Me trying to paint with acrylics. Okay, I tried my best to not use acrylic markers, but it didn't work. Okay, I needed acrylic markers in my life, and also here with all the details. But I did do a lot more acrylic painting than I do otherwise. Like I'm still trying to warm up to the idea of this. I don't like acrylic paint. This was supposed to be a sketchbook session. It might still become that. I don't know. We'll see. But it's basically me practicing anatomy from this book made by Cha Sanmel in Norway. They're like one of the bigger like comic creators here. So yeah, we were drawing some hands because that's always a problem. Toes, never ever give that attention in my life, so I should have done that sooner. Legs. Dude, legs are tricky. I always want to just draw a line straight down, but then, like, where's the fun of that, you know? I always draw, like, torso up, because legs often get really, like, tricky and boring. But then, that's just a skill issue. That's just something I need to practice on my character designs overall. Dragon. Glaze. All the things she said running through my head, bro. Okay, it's a good fucking song. It's a good fucking song. Glaze kind of fits for it, so I drew a thumbnail of like a cool illustration I could have made. And then there's Lauren, there's Glaze, there's a horse, just to see if I can still do that face construction thing. There's more Lauren, you know you're better than this. The drama is real. And then here's the thumbnail of the concept of a magpie blinding Glaze. That I'm still going to figure out one day, probably, hopefully. Umbreon, edgy boy from Pokemon. Anakin, edgy boy from Star Wars, okay. Watch the new like Lion King movie, and my cousin also showed me this song way before I watched the movie. And it's fucking good, it's a good fucking song, okay? And I just explored the concept of it fitting these two stepbrothers here, Juniper and Leo. Also experimenting with the Bye Bye song fitting Dominic from the same movie, guys. But yeah, and then here's a little sketch of like, what if Ryan and Glaze saw the god of the psyche of the human being? How would that be? Because the god kind of shapeshifts into how your psyche is doing. So Ryan is like, oh goddamn, that's a fucking god. And then Glaze is like, what the fuck? Because she's watching Eldritch Horror or something like that, you know? A Glaze sketch, eyes, we love that, purgatory vibe. And then here's like a mini idea of like Juniper and Sashi. Sashi is like Juniper's love interest in the story. And like them talking about like expectations from their parents and stuff. And how Sashi is like, oh, they just want to make me do good in life. Yeah, but how does that make you feel? You know, like Sashi's like, oh, it's a lot though, but they want the best for me. Perspective. Fuck, we don't... Shh. Anyway. Me learning about posters in school. Noting it down in my sketchbook, because that's the only thing that I had with me. And posters were interesting. So, highlighters and Juniper together. Boom. Craziness. More melon soup references. With highlighters and stuff. Juniper, Sashi. More Juniper over here. Cat. Cozy cat. Crazy cat. No, it's a crazy fucking cat, not a cozy one. And there, I think that was my friend. That was my friend popping off in the corner. Realistic study of Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. Me and my little brother have just finished watching Breaking Bad. That's my second time watching that show. So now we're going to watch El Camino, and then for the first time in my life, watch Better Call Saul. So we're hyped, Overall, pretty excited about that one. I still got something on realism, a little bit. Hope, that's Hope from Juniper's Reekers. That's Juniper again. That's from a friend of mine, Enos. You can find him here. Eye, realistic eye. Note, me trying to draw a wolf anatomy from memory. I need to fix that. That is a problem. Okay, so this is Lauren, Glaze, after the Battle of Goldenstrot, which is like a big battle in the story that they're in. That is the first time that the Magpies, their troop, realize how bad this war is. Like how, I think 3 of them died. Like they're 14 people. 3 of them died during that battle. And Lauren was so close to being one of them. And this shakes Glaze up for life. Lauren too, for that matter. And then I've just been exploring the concept of like, okay, what if they need to escape on their own and then they end up in like a cave in the mountains and Glaze needs to keep Lauren warm the whole time until Lauren can walk again and stuff. So yeah, drama. There's Trix. Trix is vibing. Juniper looks disappointed, but it's fine. Oasis, I don't know, still kind of iffy on his design. I want to fix it because he looks too much like Juniper. Like Juniper is my trademark curly-haired character, right? And he has his hair down, and then Oasis also has his hair down. So if I'm not careful, it's just gonna look like Juniper, you know? Except for the fucking ears, of course. Like they're different. But I don't know. I think I could do Oasis more justice. Me trying to make like a landscape type thing with like Glaze and Lauren here, and then they explore abandoned cities and stuff. I think I've mentioned this in the past as well, that like I want to make a reference sheet for my characters where you can see like their evolution through the seasons, or like through the stories. So Glaze as a baby, Glaze as like starting military school, Glaze in the military, Glaze in Corulsifer war prison, Glaze after the war prison, Glaze after turning insane, and then Glaze after having an insane arc. You know, like, all that stuff. That would be so great. So this is basically me starting to, like, experiment with that. Here is Juniper's car, okay? I've been, like, every time there comes a Volkswagen my way, I stare at it so hard. I thought I wanted to be a transporter, because then it can, like, sleep in the back. But then I saw Caravelle, bro. And it has more seats, and it still has a lot of space here. So I'm still, like, figuring out, like, okay, what can the car do? Can the car turn down the seats and Juniper could have, like, a home in there? Because he's going to live in his car, right? So I need to figure all this out, bro. Anyway, so here's the potential design of the car. There's Juniper and Sashi again, the partners. And then I'm still experimenting with Sashi's, like, design, because I don't think that they complement Junie enough. I feel like they maybe, like, drag all the attention to themselves and not leave enough space for Juniper's character design to shine through as well. Juniper, we don't talk about that. Okay, rough, fucked up sketches. Moving on. My friend did that. don't mind it, don't mind it. Glaze, I do not know who that is. Maybe it's Glaze, but in AU where she has pointy ears instead of wolf ears. I'm not sure. I was just sketching, man. That's... What is his name? No way, I forget his name. Oh, yeah. That's Juan, and me experimenting with Juan's designs before and after type shit. Because, like, this is him when he's, like, 18. But how did he look like when he was 16? I don't know yet. Juniper, it was a sketch to like, a digital little illustration that I made. And then I just, like, colored it in with markers later. And it's fine, I kind of like it, This was also made purely by memory, I think. And then I listened way too much to the Odysseus song in Epic the Musical. You know, This Will Be Your Fate, that scene. I was just like, oh, what if Glaze comes back after confronting the Emperor, and she comes back to her town, and the Emperor almost sieged her town? And then she's like, hey, get out! You know, with this vibe. So that's the story concept now. I was at, like, a gallery with my school where they had, like, markers that are water-based. So you get the watercolor effect from them. And they're so pretty! So I like this one the most. That was me trying to draw Michael and Glaze. Glaze's nose is kind of fucked up here. Something's wrong. So we're just gonna move on. Me trying to draw with my left hand, I think. So in Norway, we have this thing called Russ, which is like right before exams for the people that are graduating obligatory school, or like the not obligatory but obligatory school. If you want to study at university, you have to go there for 3 years before you can study at university, basically. So before the last exams on that school, you get to be Russ, which is like roughly 1 month of being allowed to party. Having buses and cars and just blasting music everywhere, and a lot of, like, a lot of stuff. So for that, you get your own pair of pants that are ultra Norwegian, which you can decorate however you want. So this was me thinking about how I was going to decorate that, with patches and everything. Like, this is where you pop off, okay? Character design, thinking... Yeah, just rough sketches. Wolf, what the fuck? Juniper, strawberry. Sashi, still thinking about, like, skin color. Maybe I could fix that somehow. Kimiri made some, like, personas for her chat. And I wanted to draw one because they're easy to draw. So I drew one. Me and my family went to Rome! In like 3 to 4 days. So I drew a typical Roman Empire soldier type person. And then I drew a palm tree I was seeing. I drew my family sitting at a bench somewhere. I drew some ladies that were sitting on a bench. I drew some stones that I found. And a building that I saw. Yeah, we're doing some real life sketching. And then here's Juniper, a Juniper page. This is young Juniper, like 17, edgy phase, not doing good. Look at him, poor boy. He also had a lot of bling on his ears, like chains and stuff. But then when we meet him in the story, I was kind of like experimenting with the fact that he goes into a lot of depth because he is an addict when we meet him. So to cope with the depth, either someone rips out the rings that he has and takes them as compensation for not getting their money, or he takes them out himself and his ears are just forever fucked up. If I'm actually going to use this as character design, it would make more sense if someone ripped them out. Still, a story concept. We don't know yet. Glaze and Lauren in the military, just talking, vibing, casually. Don't know who that is. That's Sashi. That's Juniper. That's Sashi. Sashi with blue eyes. Me experimenting with that. This is Sashi's monologue when they leave Juniper. And then there's like Juniper talking to Cedric after he goes into rehab. Like willingly. He makes the decision. That's Dominic and animatic logic. Okay, we're gonna come back to that, hopefully. This is also animatic logic. This was me trying to draw like a whole person with a whole body, but I fucked up. That's Glaze and Dominic for that one short that I made, / animatic that I made. Shitpost, basically. Here's another animatic logic page of like this other animatic that I made, walking second place medal. That's Lauren. That's also Lauren. I don't think I included that one. That's Vienna. I don't think you've seen Vienna before on my channel. It's basically Brian's future wife. You can see here, wife. So yeah, and that's Brian's like young military design. And then this is of course heavily inspired by Curly from Mafia. I was intending to like fix that, but then I never did, so it just looks like he's stepping on Curly now. He's not though, he's not! He would have protected Curly, hopefully, I think. Maybe. There's Brian again. There's Glaze. Glaze is pissed at her little brother, okay? Something happened here. Something happened here. They're angry. They're angry at each other. There's more animatic logic. Yeah, and then I kind of ended the animatic, and then there's like logic of because I want to make an avatar for YouTube, and then she can talk for me, so this is the kind of the poses, because I want to make it for like in general, so not just for one video at a time, which means that, okay, what emotes do I use in real life? Well, I'm an extroverted piece of shit, which means that I use a lot of body language, so I'm fucked when I'm going to draw these, because fuck drawing body language. Why can't I just stand like an NPC like this all the time? No, I need to be expressive like that. Like that. Fucking hell. Animatic logic. And then there's Glaze, and she is upset. Ryan and Brian are two different people, just saying. Ryan is her childhood best friend that she kind of reconnected with after escaping prison. And then there's my stamp that I made at school, and then I just drew around with a Sharpie. Glaze, Flower, Lauren, Sashi and Juniper failed, but still, it's there. Me trying to draw like a character that I never draw inside my head to kind of develop his design, but it failed, so we don't talk about this. And then swimming with the shark now, this is animatic logic. Me trying to do another Pinterest study, and it turned out horribly. Absolutely horribly. Especially the face, so we're fucked. This is the Rome trip kind of page here. We went to like a bus that drove us around the place on this map over here. The tour bus, and then we went to the Colosseum, and then we went to like this place where they had made a stone sculpture look like it had blankets on it, which is amazing. Dude, if you want to get like educated on good art, go to Rome. Especially if you have a lot of money to spare. It's really, and if you don't have like the creeps when there are a lot of people around, because damn, there were a lot of people around. My family comes from a goddamn village out from nowhere, dude. We cannot cope. We cannot cope with this many people. Like, I don't know how many people there are in Rome, but like the whole of Norwegian population is like 4 million people. Like 5 million people. Bro, if Rome, I feel like Rome had more than that just in the city. This is just me thinking about what if I was going to con one day. This was supposed to be a sketch of Anakin, but it never happened, so. And that's it. That's this sketchbook tour. I've started the other one. And we'll see when that's done. So, until then, bye! And also, remember, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Share the video. We are trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And once we've reached that, we will aim for 5,000 subscribers, okay? Help me out here. We need to get monetized. Okay, anyway. Bye-bye.